Hello again. I want to do permutations, but this time I want to do it with probability. And we're going to use a really easy example, and hopefully you can translate it to more difficult examples. But the concept is basically the same. Well, it's actually exactly the same as long as you follow what you're supposed to do. And I wrote out the word by as many times as I could in terms of permutations, and I could write it out 6 different times. And what I'm trying to show you is that this actually does work. And it will work with longer letters as long as it doesn't repeat. When it repeats, then you have to use a different formula, and that's more of an advanced probability concept, which I'll get to later. So, back to what I was going to say. I want to find the probability that B is the first letter in the word by, in terms of permutations. Well, okay, that's 2, because it happens twice, over 6 times total, which comes out to 1/3 or 0.333. That's really easy when you have a very limited word with no stipulations behind it. That's fantastic. You just did it. Great job. Okay. But if you're working with bigger examples, let's say you're working with, you want to find the order of 12 different people, and you already know the order of the first person. You want to figure out what the odds of the probability of that person coming in first amongst all total outcomes. Well, if you're working with 12, that's a lot different than working with 3. So let me get to that really quickly. So if you want to find out, what you do is this. You assume this. You assume that the B is first. So all you're doing is rearranging the next 2 letters. You're working with only 2 letters, and you're rearranging those 2 letters. And it's over the total outcomes, which is the permutation of 3. Let's figure out how that works. If I rewrite that, that's 2 factorial Zero factorial is just 1, so all I'm really working with here is 2 factorial over 3 factorial. Which comes out to 2 times 1 over 3 times 2 times 1. Comes out to 1/3 as well. Now, like I said, that's a pretty useless way to do this specific type of example. But if you're working with, and this is, mind you, nothing's repeating. Like if you have the word mathematics, that doesn't work because you have 2 M's, you have repeating letters, and that differs a little bit. That's not actually that difficult. And it's not really permutation. Well, it is, but that's something for later. But that's the way you can do this type of a problem, given that it was a more difficult construct. You wouldn't want to write it out if this was a 10-letter word with no repeating words. So it's just a cool way of doing it. You assume that the first letter is fine, and you're only working with 2 letters. And you're rearranging those 2 letters. So that gives you 2 outcomes, and it's over the total in the whole sample space, which is 6. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll explain it one more time. You're assuming the B is first, so there's only 2 times that the B is first. 2 outcomes. 2 factorial is just 2 times 1, which is 2. Over 3 factorial, which is 6. 2 over 6 is 1/3. It's a little bit of a step, to say the least, but pretty cool in my opinion. So that's a little introduction in permutations. I'll do some more in terms of permutations later on. I don't know if I want to start putting stats on there, but anything that you basically see in an algebra class with regards to stats would be pretty cool for now. Have a good day. Goodbye.